This guy just dropped huge bomb on what he saw seconds before massacre that FBI is trying to hide. Ever since the brutal massacre took place in Las Vegas on Sunday night after a deranged psychopath opened fire on concert goers, it's been extremely difficult to get a straight story from the media. Many experts are crying foul over the media's narrative that there was only one shooter, including the Las Vegas sheriff, who says it was impossible, or a former Navy SEAL who said in a recent interview that the official story does not add up. Now a maintenance worker is coming forward with what he saw that night, and it's blowing the lid off the official story we've been hearing for weeks. According to a breaking eyewitness testimony revealed on Wednesday, maintenance worker Stephen Schuck said that he told hotel dispatchers to call 911 and report that there was an active shooter inside the casino resort opening fire inside before the shooter began firing from his high-rise suite, MSN News reported. The revised timeline has renewed questions about whether better communication might have allowed police to respond more quickly and take out the gunman before he committed the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history. Worker Stephen Schuck says he was checking out a report of a jammed fire door on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay when he heard gunshots, and a hotel security guard who had been shot in the leg peeked out from an alcove and told him to take cover. As soon as I started to go to a door to my left, the rounds started coming down the hallway, Schuck said. I could feel them pass right behind my head. It was kind of relentless, so I called over the radio what was going on, he said. As soon as the shooting stopped, we made our way down the hallway and took cover again, and then the shooting started again. Police said Monday they believe gunman Stephen Paddock shot a hotel security guard through the door of his suite 6 minutes before he unleashed a barrage of bullets into the crowd of concertgoers, killing 58 people and injuring hundreds more. The injured guard used his radio and possibly a hallway phone to also call hotel dispatchers for help. This hotel worker's account is dramatically different from the story police gave last week when they said that the shooter was firing through the door of his room and had injured a guard before he began massacring the crowd below. The company who owns the hotel have also been questioning the timeline, saying they don't believe the official story is accurate. We cannot be certain about the most recent timeline, said Deborah Deschang, a spokeswoman for MGM Resorts International. We believe what is currently being expressed may not be accurate. This remains an ongoing investigation with a lot of moving parts. And now, as of now, police are refusing to comment about the hotel's statement. Our officers get there as fast as they possibly could, and they did what they were trained to do, Las Vegas Assistant Sheriff Todd Fasulo said earlier Tuesday. MSM went on. Gunshots can be heard in the background of Schuck reported the shooting on his radio, telling a dispatcher, call the police. Someone's firing a gun up here. Someone's firing a rifle on the 32nd floor down the hallway. It was unclear if the hotel relayed the information to Las Vegas police, who did not respond to questions from the Associated Press about whether the hotel security or anyone else in the hotel called 911 to report the gunfire. Joseph Giacalone, a professor at John Jay College of Criminal Justice and a retired New York police sergeant, said the new timeline changes everything. There absolutely was an opportunity in that time frame that some of this could have been mitigated, he said. Nicole Rapp, whose mother was knocked to the ground and trampled at the country music concert, said she's having a hard time wrapping my head around why police changed the timeline of the shooting. It's very confusing to me that they are just discovering this a week later, she said. How did we not know this before? It's traumatic for the victims and their families not to be sure of what happened. The 6 minutes that passed between the hallway shooting and the start of the shooting into the crowd would wouldn't have been enough time for officers to stop the attack, said Ron Hosko, a former FBI assistant director who has worked on SWAT teams. Rather than rush in without a game plan, police would have been formulating the best response to barricade gunmen, he said. Maybe that's enough time to get the first patrolman onto the floor, but the first patrolman is not going to go knock on that customer's door and say what's going on with 200 holes in the door, Hosko said. Under Sheriff Kevin McMahill defended the hotel and said the encounter that night between Paddock and the security guard and maintenance man disrupted the gunman's plans. Paddock fired more than 1,000 bullets and had more than 1,000 rounds left in his room, the undersheriff said. I can tell you, I'm confident that he was not able to fully execute his heinous plan, and it certainly had everything to do with being disrupted, McMahill said. He added, I don't think the hotel dropped the ball. Law enforcement tells CBS News they're getting a very good response to billboards asking the public for help with information about Paddock and the shooting massacre. This isn't the first time an eyewitness has come forward and challenged law enforcement and the mainstream media's assertion of events. Australian man Brian Hodge was staying in the room next to Paddock that fateful night, and what he witnessed is destroying the mainstream media's narrative that the massacre involved only one shooter. After hearing gunfire coming from his floor, Hodge rushed outside and hid in the bushes and called for help. Hodge then said something shocking, certain that this massacre was not carried out by Stephen Paddock alone. There were multiple people dead and multiple shooters. It was just hiding, waiting for police to come get us. We were hiding in the bushes outside, waiting for the police. Adding, it was a machine gun from the room next to me. My floor is a crime scene. They killed a security guard on my floor. Hodge isn't the only person who believes there was more than one shooter that carried out the massacre. Many people are feeling uneasy about the official story that's being pushed and are starting to suspect there's something extremely fishy with the narrative that the mainstream media is telling everyone. Why would an accountant with no criminal history, who according to his own family didn't even like guns, suddenly decide to commit the worst mass casualty shooting in United States history? Even Republican Congressman Trey Gowdy is scoffing at the narrative that this was carried out by a lone shooter. I think there were like 3 or 4 actually. 3 or 4, but they're slowly coming out with it now. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.